Let's bring in Captain Mike Coffield for more on this. He is a principal for Coast to Coast Strategies and a retired veteran of the airline industry with more than 30 years of commercial experience. Captain, thank you for being with us on such a somber day for our country. What is your initial reaction and early assessment based on what we know?
Well, first of all, thoughts and prayers go out to those families. I mean, I spent 31 years with United, flying at over 22,000 hours. One thing that I thought of initially, as I looked at my wife and my kids, my grandkids today, was that it was really important when I said hello, when I said goodbye. Those crews, every day when they go to work and when they come home, uh, their families are impacted dramatically, and it kind of came back home to us, and especially in our as we run our current airline, KM Cargo. Um, the um, the helicopter was where it was supposed to be in terms of the route. I think there is some conversation relative to the fact that there were aircraft lining up to land to the north, and as they do on runway 10, some of the regional jets have an opportunity given to them as long as traffic available to do a half circle route into runway 33. It's done with smaller aircraft, our regional jets, and I don't believe that the helicopter or the airliner saw either each other at all. And you just mentioned relative to what the president had spoken of. I think they're going to go back and look at ATC training. When those red lights are on, that's actually an alert that the controller's seeing on his screen. But he's also looking out the window of the cab of the tower. Now, I think there used to be you would go to Oklahoma City to the training center and you'd spend 4 months, 5 months in training in Oklahoma City. And then you would go to a facility like, to give you an example, maybe Leesburg or a smaller Knoxville, Tennessee. You go to a smaller airport and then get trained to be qualified at a larger facility. That's not what's been occurred over the last few years. What's happened is they've shortened the time in Oklahoma City, and they've actually demanded or made training available at the local facility where a senior ATC person would then do training on the job, so to speak. I've always thought that, especially over the last 10 years or so, that that's really not a very good plan, that they ought to go back to the original plan.
Captain, it's been 6 years since the last sort of collision like this happened. How rare is something like this?
Well, in the United States, it almost never happens. I mean, if you think about, you know, I, 31 years. I mean, there's only a handful of opportunity times that something like this happened. Now, overseas, you had the Korean incident just 8 weeks ago. But domestic travel in the United States is incredibly safe. Professional aviators, professional maintenance, no shortcuts, safety's first, and no questions to the captain if it's not safe. So I think those are things that are true. I just don't think that. And one of the things that I'm going to communicate back to the NTSB and especially to Senator Jerry Moran, and an aside to that is that he is the new chairman of the Commerce Aviation Subcommittee, and he is from Kansas. And he's also the most knowledgeable aviation expert in the United States Congress. I mean, he's got a heart that's unbelievable. So that's good news. And the history of Kansas relative to aviation. My dad, B-29 was made in Kansas. Aviation is ingrained in that region. So I think there are some good things that are going to come out of this. We hope that the president chooses and encourages the chair of the board of the NTSB to handle this in the go team. I don't know what they've decided yet this afternoon, but it's my hope that the chairman takes over this, since DCA is owned by the federal government and Congress is responsible.
All right. Well, Captain Mike Coffield, we have to leave it there today, but hopefully we can have you back on to discuss this tragedy. Thank you for your time, sir.
Sure. Thank you so much.